why suspected murderer John Williams shot Eugene Cole. Well, it's possible because he was angry at the officer for arresting his girlfriend. That, according to some court documents that we found out about today. Hello, everybody. I'm Lee Goldberg.
And I'm Lindsay Mills. For exactly 2 months, the public has grieved the loss of Corporal Eugene Cole and wondered why anyone would kill a highly suspected officer. Christina Rex read through the unsealed affidavits. And Christina, what happened the night of April 25th?
So Lee and Lindsay, according to this affidavit that we got today, John Williams told police he, quote, eliminated Corporal Cole after an altercation in a family member's driveway. Now, Corporal Cole surprised John Williams as he was trying to enter his stepmother's home, according to that affidavit. Williams told police the corporal tried to arrest him, but then Williams pulled his 9mm handgun. The affidavit says the deputy then backed up, tripped, and fell to the ground. As Corporal Cole lay there with his hands over his face, John Williams shot him in the head, according to those documents. Corporal Cole's body was found in the backyard of that same home at 16 Mercer Road in Norridge Walk, approximately 6 hours later. Williams allegedly told police he was mad at Corporal Cole for arresting his girlfriend on drug charges 4 days prior, but Williams said he didn't have a vendetta against the officer. It was after this altercation and the alleged murder that police say John Williams stole the corporal's cruiser. They say he stole from a Cumberland Farms, called multiple friends to tell them what he'd done, and ditched the cruiser in a friend's backyard. His disappearance launched a massive 4-day manhunt. He was eventually arrested in a wooded area multiple miles from where Corporal Cole's body was found. And John Williams actually pleaded not guilty to murder just 2 weeks ago.
All right, Christina, thank you. Obviously, this is something we'll be keeping track of. Every time new information comes out, there are a lot of people obviously interested in this and all the details that come out. So thank you very much.
All right, it's time now to welcome somebody back from vacation.
Sure, the sun comes out and Keith comes out all at the same time.
Yeah, pretty nice,
Look
right?
who's back.
To this afternoon? Yeah, I know you missed me, Lee. Although we saw each other over vacation.
I
don't want to make that weird.
Not enough.
That's what happened. Great first pitch by Lee. Did we put that on TV?
We did.
We did. All right. Good. I don't think we put mine on TV. 64 officially in Sanford right now. 74 in Freiburg. You can see where there's some sun over western Maine and a little break in the action over down east as well. Started with the clouds, middle of the day sunshine, then some showers and some thunderstorms in there. A couple of those thunderstorms were a little feisty earlier this afternoon with some small hail embedded in them because it's relatively cold aloft in the atmosphere. Right now, though, mostly just showers left over. If we zoom in on these, I'm not seeing much in the way of lightning with the remaining showers. Some heavy downpours here on the way to Augusta in the next hour, hour and a half. Across northern Maine, still a few strikes of lightning, particularly across Aroostook County, but those will dwindle as the day goes on. The moisture becomes less and less around northern Maine. We end up clearing out tonight. So tomorrow, a beautiful day, and we start off on a 2-day stretch. Tomorrow in the mid-70s, a lot of sunshine, upper 70s, low 80s in sunshine on Wednesday. But guys, it's we got more to talk about than that. We've got some rain on Thursday and then maybe some big heat for the weekend. I know, Lee, you like that.
The heat is on. All right. Thank you very much, sir. So this isn't exactly breaking news, but Maine is a total foodie state, right? For tourists, for locals, you have so many unbelievable amounts of choices when it comes to what you want to eat.
And yeah, since I've moved back, it's actually become a big problem for my waistline. Anyway, for serious though, food waste is still a big problem on the national level, and one startup on the Mid-Coast is working with restaurants to do something about it and all those scraps of food that don't go home in doggy bags.
Can I stack this one up here?
Pretty soon, these concrete blocks will corral compost.
In Maine specifically, more than 40% of all of our waste that is going to landfill could be composted instead.
Scrap Dogs is a curbside compost startup founded by Davis Saltonstall and Tessa Rosenberry.
Everyone is eating and everyone's producing waste. So it should be something that we're all thinking about and kind of working together on.
Starting later this week, what you would normally throw away,
banana peels, coffee grounds, all of that,
they will pick up.
Basically how it works is you pay a certain amount a month. We'll come and pick up your waste every week or as much as you need it. We'll take it here, turn it into compost, and then we'll bring it back to you.
Homes and restaurants in the Mid-Coast can sign up for the service,
knowing that our food isn't going into a big landfill and it's doing something good.
Restaurants like El Ancla in Camden.
It doesn't make sense with most business models to pay to have your part of your trash taken away. But I think if more and more restaurants were doing that, it would make a difference.
I think one of the things that makes composting difficult, or why it hadn't been the primary means of disposal in the past is that managing the chemistry is sometimes tough.
Chemistry is no problem for Scrap Dog's founders because they are college sweethearts. And now they're ready for the next chapter, building the foundation of their careers.
And there are similar organizations across the United States and in Maine, including Garbage to Garden. That's another curbside compost service in the Portland area.
We are just over halfway through 2018. It's been a rough year statistically for Maine drivers. According to the Maine Bureau of Highway Safety, there have been 57 people killed in car crashes this year compared to 63 people during the same time period last year. Right now, the amount of total crashes is on par with last year's total, but that is not very comforting because 2017 was the highest crash year in our state since 2005.
We saw great trends for years and years across the country where we were making improvement. And we've started focusing a lot of attention on public education, improving the laws, enforcing the laws. But at the same time, we've seen crashes continue to spike. So it's certainly concerning. It's a driver behavior issue. It's something that we all need to work on. And we're seeing that crashes are once again creeping up this year.
In Maine, the most crashes happen in November, December, and January, while the most fatalities take place in June, July, and August. The Red Hen incident is the story that just keeps on going, and the internet keeps on talking about it. Today, President Trump weighing in saying the Virginia restaurant is filthy anyway and should have served a fine person like Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
As a recap, the press secretary sat down to eat at the restaurant last week when the owner asked her to leave, launching a debate about private businesses, respect, and civil discourse. But now innocent restaurants are caught in the crosshairs,
including the Little Red Hen Diner and Bakery in Andover, Maine, pretty far away from the Lexington location where Mrs. Sanders was denied service.
Yeah, we're not affiliated with that restaurant.
Now, Red Hens all over the country, including this one in New Jersey, are being inundated with phone calls, made-up reviews, and nasty emails. But all the Red Hen owners are pretty much saying the same thing. You've got the wrong hen. Please leave us alone.
And at first, you know, it was, are you the Red Hen? And then people would just curse and swear and slam the phone down. It took over 200 calls. And it's varied, anything from people congratulating us to people being really mean, name calling.
As for the Little Red Hen Diner and Bakery in Andover, the Facebook page says the press secretary is welcome anytime she likes because they do not judge and everybody's got to eat.
That's probably one of the worst things with social media, tagging the wrong people and places. Anyway, traffic may be building up on Congress Street for your commute home through Portland. A car backed into a storefront near Congress Square. It doesn't appear anyone was hurt, but the flower shop is damaged, as you can see. Two Maine athletes could be hometown heroes at the next Olympics, and they're making moves to be in top shape for qualifiers. That's next.
And could Netflix's Making a Murderer star have a shot at freedom thanks to the Supreme Court? Well, they weighed in, and we'll let you know coming up.
Guys, I can actually relate to this Red Hen story and being mixed up with the wrong name, the wrong story, the wrong situation. When the Edward Snowden scandal came to a head and his mistress, named Lindsay Mills, was put out there in the public eye, you would not believe how many people still to this day message me on Twitter and Facebook asking me if I'm that Lindsay Mills and how could I, and they asked me about Snowden and all these things, and I'm clearly not Edward Snowden's mistress. It's terrible. It's like, I just got one a few months ago, and I like screenshot it and sent it to my mom, and I'm like, not, here we go again. Here we go.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
No, I mean, and there's no way to know when somebody who's either your namesake or the name of your restaurant or something is going to be in the news, and then all of a sudden, it's a Google search, and nobody even bothers to take the time to figure out if it's the right one. They just assume.
Right, and that was years ago.
It could be a good thing, like if you are Tom Brady, like the gentleman up in Gardner who we interviewed, his name is Tom Brady. I mean, good for you, man. You get to be, you write a check and say you're Tom Brady. That's awesome. Yeah. But not so good if it's not on the other side of it. So.
Anyway, I had to just tell you guys that. I thought that was interesting. How How's everybody doing? We got Cucumber on YouTube, you guys. Cucumber, how old are you, Cucumber?
What did Rachel say?
I didn't hear.
Okay.
Cucumber, you're a teenager, right? Cucumber wanted to be our agent, remember?
Sorry, my IFB is not working, so I really can't hear you. Can you say it again?
Okay, she's talking to me. I can hear. Any stories in this block that you want to linger on? LeBron.
I mean, no, I think the first two, the two kids from here, is what we have the most information.
Do you
about.
want to talk about them?
Yeah.
Okay, first two stories. Okay.
When are we doing that?
After the second.
Okay. So before we move on to LeBron?
Yep.
Okay. Say again? Nothing that we can't use. I don't think. I mean,
Cucumber, we notice you.
It's anything that's even NBC. Oh, well then, yes. Yeah, so I'll just go.
How is everybody today?
So Isaiah's story is yes, and Kate's is no. Okay. Isaiah's is second.
Oh, Johnny Bangor's watching, you guys.
Whoop.
Hey, Keith. Johnny Mailer. He says the pitch ran about 100 times the following morning.
What's up, Kiri? Mars Hill. What's up, Donna? Elizabeth?
Mike is watching.
A pair of Olympic hopefuls from Maine have made some pretty big decisions about their hopefully super bright futures. Kate Hall, who is from Casco, went to Lake Region High School, announced that she would be foregoing her senior season at the University of Georgia so she can focus on the World Championships, which will be held in Qatar in the fall of 2019. Hall is the American junior record holder in the long jump. She holds the national high school and has won indoor and outdoor long jump national championships in college as well.
Meanwhile, Lewiston's Isaiah Harris had a pretty big day of his own. Harris announced he was turning pro and signing with Nike. Then he went out and finished second in the national finals of the 800-meter race. Isaiah will head back to Penn State in the fall to finish his final year of school, but will not be able to compete for the Lions now that he is no longer an amateur.
And this is, I love, when our kids do well, and they're not my kids, but I mean our kids. Like when you meet these kids, and if you watch us and you see the Mainers, whether it's sports or something else, and they go on to do other things, and to get to follow them. I mean, Kate Hall put, I believe, when we spoke on Friday, when she was, I think, 13, she put on her social media profiles, "I'm going to make the Olympic team one day." And here we are, 8 years later, and she's, hopefully 2 years away.
What a role model too for young people in sports, not just young girls, but young boys too. I mean, to show that you can make it. If you are committed, if you're determined, you put the right amount of time and energy in,
and
you can do it.
She and Isaiah both are just the greatest people, too. Like, you get to know them, you just talk to them, they're just so down to earth and great, so they're easy to root for.
So you're happy for them.
Summer of 2020, Olympic Games right here on NBC. Oh, by the way.
Oh,
so
nice little plug
throwing
there.
that out there. 2 years away, letting you know.
Okay, speaking of sports.
Yeah, so the basketball world is all waiting for LeBron James to make a decision where he'd like to play next year. Husson University in Bangor's got a pretty good idea. The Eagles tweeted at James and reminded him that since he went to the NBA right out of high school, he did miss the opportunity to play college basketball, and they would be more than happy to give him a place to fulfill that dream.
And in case you needed a reminder that diehard fans will do anything for their teams, check out this scene in Russia. Iranian fans hosted an all-night street party outside the hotel where the Portugal national soccer team is staying. According to this tweet, you can even see football star Cristiano Ronaldo asking the revelers to go elsewhere so he can catch some sleep. Iran and Portugal faced off this afternoon in the World Cup. They tied, but Portugal has more points, so Ronaldo and his team will move on, and Iran is now eliminated.
Ronaldo did miss a penalty kick, though, today. I wonder if he was too tired to make it because of that.
I don't know. That's actually some pretty good strategy.
That was hysterical.
Yeah.
Do you fancy a cup of tea?
Yeah.
Just wondering.
It is the
These
afternoon.
woodland creatures are regulars at the afternoon tea session in Kennebunk. The story behind these wacky snapshots is coming up next.
After a couple of rainy days, the sun is making a comeback. Carson's back from vacation. I'll be right back.
Squirrels and...
Seth is asking if anyone else is having connection issues. Liam, do you know if we're having any issues on our end with Facebook? We are not aware of any issues at the moment, but let us know if you guys are having issues.
Cucumber!
So, wait, this is an interesting thing, too.
Can we just say that Micah Malloy might be the smartest of all of our viewers?
Can I tell you something?
I'm talking. In the history of viewers at News Center, it's possible that Micah Malloy is the most educated one of them all.
Do you know, I'll agree with you, and do you know why? It's because it's where one of his first apartments was, because it was also where one of my first apartments was. We lived in the same exact unit of the same exact building in the same exact village of Holden, Maine. Yep.
Is there like one apartment building in Holden? How does that happen?
There was, it's like a farmhouse converted to 3 units. We both lived in the exact same unit, but like years apart.
And then
Crazy.
you both ended up in this exact building.
Yes.
Weird.
Weird is right. Wait, okay, I have to tell you something about the soccer team.
Weird.
Soup's weird.
Uh-oh, hold on.
Oh, okay, Pawn
Can you tell
Stars
me what
is
she
dead.
said? Okay.
Pawn Stars is
No
dead.
pun
We
intended.
can talk about it in the break.
No pun intended.
No. Okay, wait. So speaking of strategy and sports teams and whatever, Las Vegas has a professional hockey team for the first time this year, and they do really well. You're familiar. Las Vegas' hockey team.
Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at a
That's
question.
fine. That's okay, what's the question?
Dennis, on YouTube, just search for News Center Maine. Is that right? Is that how we can find us on YouTube? Yeah, just search for News Center Maine on YouTube, and you'll find the same thing live over there.
You can do youtube.com/newscentermaine/live.
Or that.
So Las Vegas has a hockey team for the first time.
They do.
They do well.
Golden Knights.
Do you know why I think they did well?
Please tell me.
Because all the visiting teams were going out crazy partying in Vegas the night before every game, and the Vegas team is like, they know what's out there, and they don't need to go out there and party as hard.
It's a conspiracy. So when the Raiders move to Las Vegas, they will win every home game because all the visiting teams will be casinos all night long.
You could say that by my theory.
Oh, you just said that.
No, that would apply. But I'm talking specifically about Vegas.
Yeah, because I mean, I think that when the Patriots go to Vegas to play the Raiders, that I can see them out all night at casinos partying, and like Brady probably, and Belichick will be out, hanging upside down from a chandelier probably. Come on, these are professional athletes. The Netflix series Making a Murderer was one of the most talked about shows. It was Stephen Avery set up and sent to prison for some crimes that he did not commit. And did that happen to him twice? Well, we don't know the truth, but there was another story that had a lot of people calling out for justice. Brendan Dassey, Stephen's nephew, was accused of helping to brutally murder a journalist.
But lawyers say he suffers from a mental disability and was too young to know what he was talking about, and officers coerced him into a confession. Brendan Dassey's case almost went all the way to the Supreme Court. But today, the nation's highest justices announced they will not be taking up the case, which could mean Brendan is going back to prison. The Supreme Court did not explain why they rejected the case. A lower court upheld Dassey's conviction, saying when the teen confessed he knew details of the crime he could only have known if he was there. Okay, well, you may have seen this billboard on Facebook. Take a look. It says, "Liberals continue on until you have left our great state of Texas." And it is definitely a conversation starter. Texas is a mostly red state, but mixed opinions. But no matter what you think about it, the billboard has been taken down. A new billboard popped up over the weekend saying Texas is for everyone, not for bigotry. Now this billboard is going viral. A GoFundMe page raised almost $2,000 for the sign to welcome everyone to the town of Amarillo. So there's a full-on battle of the billboards going on in Texas, and we want to know what you think about all of this. Comment right now on our Facebook or YouTube live streams.
Well, I think everybody can agree on this. Keith's back.
We need to relax, like, as a country, I feel like.
I know, I knew you had something to say about the billboard.
Let's just take it down a notch, America. We can all get along.
Right.
And we can start with the weather, because it's the ultimate small talk. if you go from the weather and you get in some sort of political fight, you're doing it wrong.
Weather is always a safe conversation.
Generally.
Yeah.
Climate, not so much. Weather, yes. Weather,
here we go.
You keep it in the short
10
range.
seconds apiece. You
And
had
you're
to go
good.
there.
Yeah, no, everyone's going to like and agree on this next couple of days. Tuesday and Wednesday look great. We do have some clouds out there and a couple of showers. Convective stuff popped up during the afternoon, but we did see a decent amount of sunshine through the middle of the day that kind of drove the showers that you see out there right now. There was lightning, there was a little bit of hail over southern Maine earlier, but now they're losing some of their strength, so they're just showers and downpours in there as they move through Skowhegan here. That's a pretty heavy downpour. Wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of hail in that core right there, and a few down across southern Maine in the Portland area as well. Across northern Maine, still some thunderstorms, not a ton of lightning though being detected, so largely pop-up showers and maybe a little hail right there across northern Aroostook County. These showers though settle down in the next few hours, and by 9 or 10 o'clock tonight we're pretty much done with them. After that we clear out, and the next 2 days are beautiful. Sunny days, temperatures in the mid-70s tomorrow under mostly sunny skies, and then on Wednesday just a little bit warmer than tomorrow, so more like upper 70s and low 80s away from the coastline through the middle part of Wednesday. So those 2 days, beautiful right down the middle for everyone, and then some rain moves in on Thursday. That system has a decent amount of moisture to work with, so we're probably looking at 3/4 of an inch or so of rain coming through Thursday afternoon and into Thursday night, perhaps up to an inch of rain in spots, which would net be a positive thing for most of us. So Thursday's your only washout kind of day of the week, and then that moves offshore. The story after that is some heat building in for the weekend, and the amplitude and degree of this heat signal is strong. When you look at these color temperatures, these are 850 temperatures in the middle part of the atmosphere. Look at Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. That is a really warm signature. The question, of course, is the details of it. How warm do we get? But the potential is definitely there for us to be over 90 degrees Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week, and perhaps in places over 95 degrees. So we'll be watching that. It would be classically timed heat for us, statistically, going right into the 4th of July and temperatures being above 90. So we'll keep an eye on it. It's going to be hot late in the weekend into next week. The question is it the hottest we've been in a while? You know, the signal as of yesterday and this morning was we haven't hit 100 since 2012, and there were a few of those readings on the computer model map. So we'll have to see where this lands in this scheme of things.
I mean, if it's going to be that hot anyway, you might as well set a record.
Let's just do it.
I mean, what's the point of
Let's
being
do it.
97? Like, let's get to 100.
I said on
if you're going to
Facebook
be
today,
miserable,
like,
let's just go.
If you have the money, this is a good time to get a window unit for your bedroom or something. Like just one, because that's tough stuff to sleep in.
So you're offering to buy window units for
I
people
said,
who need one? Is that what you said?
Yes.
That's what I heard.
That would be great.
Okay.
Just one. You can get one at Walmart, I think, for like $90 or something.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll start saving. America is mourning a pawn shop star today. Richard Harrison, known affectionately as the Old Man, died of Parkinson's at the age of 77. His son, Rick Harrison, made the announcement on Instagram today. Pawn Stars debuted on the History Channel back in 2009 following the everyday activities of the Nevada Pawn Shop and its staff. And for those of you who've been frequent watchers of our program, we did a story on a local pawn shop owner, Joe Stinson, who was on Pawn Stars, flew out to Vegas, got to be out there, actually talked to him today to see if he had a chance to meet the old man. And he said that was his goal when he went out there. That was his idol, a guy who worked hard, kind of came from nothing and made it big like Joe considers himself. And he was ill a year ago when Joe went out, so he never did get a chance to meet him, but that was the one he really wanted to meet the most. But that loss obviously will be felt by everybody who loves that show.
Right, and we'd love to hear your memories for those of you who've watched it and that sort of thing, so join the conversation right now on Facebook and YouTube. Okay, we're talking about this. Take a look. You know how in cartoons princesses have birds and chipmunks for friends and they sit down and eat together, sometimes they sing? Well, it's not a fairy tale for a woman in Kennebunk. Bonnie Thomas hosts tea parties for the animals, the critters living in her backyard. She acknowledges that it's a tad ridiculous, but she's been doing this for 5 years. There's a groundhog that lives under her porch, so he's a frequent visitor to her parties. But just look at these pictures. We have more on our website and at our mobile app, and thank you so much to Bonnie for sharing these. Oh.
All right, here's what's coming up tonight on News Center Maine at 5:30. More than a dozen dairy cows have been neglected to the point of abuse. The poor animals have found salvation at a local rescue, but their upkeep and recovery will cost the group thousands of dollars.
And President Trump ended the practice of separating families at the border, but has that stopped the political fervor from around immigration? Doesn't look like it. All that and more straight ahead on News Center Maine at 5:30.
News Center Now continues after the break. Sorry. Let's do it after the break.
All right, everybody.
Oh, Dennis is on YouTube now. There you go, Dennis. You found us.
Nice job, Dennis.
Tell your friends. Tell your family. Tell them all.
For some reason, every time I go back to Facebook, it goes back to the bottom of the comments.
Huh.
So we asked you guys to weigh in about the Texas billboard, and I just love this response from Katie. Katie says, "Who cares about a billboard in Texas? Waste of time and energy." Hugh, the story about Corporal Cole was at the top of our show. We have information at our website right now and at our mobile app, and we will have much more on that ahead at 5:30.
Chris said that he heard that same theory about the Vegas Knights that.
Oh, yeah, about the partying?
Yeah. But it doesn't make sense because the Capitals did win the Stanley Cup.
Right. Yes. Okay. Hugh, I know you were just asking about the Corporal Cole story. Christina's going to post the link to it right now in the comment feed, so stand by and it'll be there in just a sec.
Well, you had the right order and not just one out of one. There you go.
So are we doing brain drops first, or are we doing the other thing first?
I think we're doing all brain drops.
I think it's only brain drops. I don't
Yep,
think we're
that's
doing
it.
the
You
other
got
story.
it. Nailed it.
Did you have a good vacay?
It was good.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Do you want the stool thing?
No.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're good.
You're good. Yeah.
Yep, we ended up going to the lake twice, and we're in Vermont for a bit, so it was good.
Nice.
Took Luke to his first hotel room.
Nice.
How'd he do?
He was good. We did one of those homemade suites so that there was a living room, so we could put him in his crib out there. Because the problem is, if you do a normal room, when he goes to bed, you gotta like turn the lights off and stuff.
He
this
can't
way
be
we could put him in
disturbed.
his own room, and then we just switched them.
That's smart.
Yeah, and he slept actually one of his best nights over there. So.
Really?
I don't think he cares where he is.
No.
He's got his little travel crib.
No,
Yeah.
not at that
Not
age.
that age.
I mean, I'd say the last two did most of their sleeping.
Talking about sleeping.
Talking about parenting things I can't relate to.
Stuff. You know a lot though. You used to do some nannying and whatnot. Okay, good for your question. Something I noticed with the new higher resolution radar, see that cloud formations are often striated. I had not seen this before, wondering if it's natural. What he actually means is satellite, if he's talking about clouds, but that's a common word confusion here. So two parts to this question. One, there is a higher resolution satellite that we're showing you on television now. And so what it is GOES 16. I was very excited about this about a year or so ago when it first launched. This is GOES 16 satellite. This is our previous satellite, which was from 1978. So it is much more resolute. I can zoom in almost to a town level and see bubbling cumulus clouds and whatnot. We couldn't do that before. So what we're showing you on TV is this. It's a lot better, more resolute than what you've been seeing, so you notice more features. Now to the second part of this question, why the clouds have striations in them in the mountains of Maine particularly. Well, the reason for that is upslope flow creates clouds and rain. So the idea is when you create a cloud, you're raising the air up in the atmosphere. You can do that two ways. One with a cold front, warm front, and that creates lift, or you can literally drive it uphill with terrain. And so that's why you'll notice mountains are often cloudier, right? So you've got clouds on the top of the mountains. So let's go to the next map. In Maine, what that means is when you're upsloping these clouds, they're creating these lines along the ridge lines, right? So these clouds are condensing, 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 and you see them on a clear, otherwise day, you'll see where these clouds have formed in the mountains. So that feature has always been there, but our previous satellite was not resolute enough to show you that happening. But anybody who lives in the mountains knows, you know, on this side of the mountain there's a cloud, on the other side there isn't.
Technology has definitely helped weather, like, you know, just to be able to see so much more than we ever could see before.
We used to have to call downhill and see where the weather was going. Now you got models. Yeah, exactly.
And now we're going downstairs.
Coming up now.
Exactly.
Oh, well, bye, 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 bye. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.